I was on the board from 2010 until 2018. I didn't run again. You all were here to hear me say that. I thought we were on a path forward. I've been not happy with what I've seen over the last year. I think that the three things that really are the most important that have to be, that whoever gets elected has to be able to manage will be the redistricting that will happen in 2022. You know, no redistricting is not an option because they're opening a new high school in 2023. I don't think that they should have, blown the whole thing up this year, last year, effective next year, because we knew that there was going to be a big redistricting that's not avoidable when the new high school opens, and that's the time to make all of these major changes, because there's no such thing as incremental redistricting. That's just constant chaos. You don't say, I'm going to move you here this year and then here next year. What, because it's a shorter distance or something? It doesn't work out that way. And the process needed to change. It should have changed. I thought it was changing. And I stood back and watched, and I was just flummoxed at what in the world is happening. The next board is also going to be making the decision on whether to renew the superintendent's contract or to find a new one. This current board might be faced with finding a new superintendent because the state superintendent's retiring, and I think it's probably a fair bet that our superintendent is at least being considered for that role. And the budget does not appear to be getting any better. And, for me, I have managed to make enemies on both sides of the aisle over the last 10 years because I do not approve of the philosophy that the current board and previous boards have operated under, which is the county executive tells you how much he'll agree to give you, and then you present a budget that's that much. Because then the community never gets to know what's really needed. The county executive later on, when you say, we don't have the money to do this program or that program, they say, well, we gave you everything you asked for. So I have advocated, and successfully in the last few years I was on the board, that they needed to ask for what was really needed. And, Alan Kittleman didn't like that because he felt like we were trying to box him into a corner. But my job is not to make the county executive happy, it's to advocate for the school system and the kids. And we were able to get him to come up with an extra several $1 million that he insisted he didn't have, so that we didn't have to raise class sizes in, I want to say, the 18 budget. And now with Calvin Ball as the county executive, he wants to be able to say, this is how much I'm willing to provide. And it's always that this is the most I can provide, but there's all kinds of other money and decisions that can be made. And I don't think that they did the right thing today to decide to not ask for what they really need, because the county executive can cut away stuff that they ask for, but the county council cannot restore what they didn't ask for. And it's a nuance, but it's really important. And if you don't ask, then you can't be surprised when you don't have what you need. And you can't be surprised when you say, we don't have the funding to provide these services that the school system has not been providing to the standard that we all thought we were getting and that we want our kids to have. And if you don't ask for it.
How long haven't they asked?
Oh, well, we asked for 3 years before 2018.
Okay.
Before that, they were still, it was for decades, they've been doing the dance of, this is how much. There are meetings that happen between the budget people at the school system and the budget people at the county, and they sort of hash out what the county is going to say that they can afford, and then the school system puts together a budget based on that. And they did that for years, and that's partly how we got where we are.
Would they go to the principals to ask? Like, who do they ask?
Who does who ask?
Like, if we were to ask, like, who is asked what the school system needs? Who is asking who? Like, who are the people that are in the know?
That are in the know as far as what the school system really needs? Well, that should be the superintendent's staff, and they supposedly go through all of the different departments, and when I was on the board, we would ask, as each department came forward to do testimony during budget hearings, and say, do you actually have in this budget what you need? And of course, the answer was always, oh yes, we can make do with whatever we get. Well, that really isn't the question. And what we've seen with the last 2 or 3, what are derided as aspirational budgets, the superintendent has done what he's been asked, which is to put together a budget that actually meets the needs. And then they say, well, there's no way that they're ever going to be able to fund that, so you need to back off on that. But if you look at the actual proposal, it does have a lot of the stuff that we have been needing and that are not happening. But the principles, I thought it had gotten better, that staff and employees of the school system were free to be honest and straightforward about what their real problems and real needs were. It's not looking like that's the case. I'm hearing from a lot of people now that I'm running again, and I used to hear a lot from people because they knew that if they told me stuff, I wouldn't divulge where I heard it or whatever. It used to be that if you'd say, well, here's an issue that has been brought to my attention. Well, where did you hear that? Does it really matter? Is it true or is it not? Let's fix this. But I am getting the distinct impression that people are feeling very hesitant
Period is over.
to speak up.